So now we're going to cover the last type of structure, and this is the one that I'm going to use most frequently in class because it is much faster to write out. And this is skeletal structures. Skeletal structures show the carbon-carbon bonds as lines without writing out the atom symbol, and they do not show the carbon-hydrogen bond lines. They only show bonds from carbon to heteroatoms. The only atom symbol that you'll see in a skeletal structure are heteroatoms. So let's write that out. Carbon atom at endpoint and vertice. You guys remember what vertices are? They are where two lines intersect. So vertice. Just to highlight that for you. And the symbol for carbon is omitted. In addition, all C to H bonds are omitted. But you still know they're there. And why do we know they're there? Because we can identify where the carbons are. So let's look at the second molecule in the line. I'm going to put a number by each of the carbons that I see. 1, 2, 3. At every endpoint and vertice that does not have an atom symbol, that is a carbon. So that molecule, the second molecule in the bottom line, has 3 carbons. And I know that, but how can I know how many hydrogens? By identifying how many lines are missing, because carbon must have a total of 4 bonds. So the first carbon, carbon 1, there is only 1 line leaving that carbon. There are 3 that are missing. That means that those 3 are hydrogens. So that has to be a CH3 group at carbon 1. At carbon 2, that vertice has 2 lines, one going to carbon 1 and one going to oxygen. It is missing 2 bonds, and those 2 bonds are then to hydrogen. 2 hydrogens at carbon 2. At carbon 3, I only have 1 line going to that carbon. The other 3 bonds must be to hydrogen. You need to be able to interpret and draw the skeletal structures and be very, very familiar with them. And I am going to give you guys an extra assignment that I expect you to turn in for drawing Lewis structures. This is going to be, the handout is going to be posted in files. There'll be a link to it from the chapter 1 module. I'm going to put it following this video, which is going to end up being video 8. And I want you guys to practice drawing these structures. In fact, I'll stop this video here after only 4 minutes, and you guys can go straight in to drawing these structures. Let me just show you real quick what this is going to look like. So here's the assignment that I'm going to have you do. You're going to have a series of Lewis structures, and you're going to have to convert condensed structures and Lewis structures into line or skeletal structures. So that part one is A through I. So you're going to convert all of these structures, A through I, into skeletal structures. This should be fun. Then in part two, you're going to write, using this skeletal structure, the molecular formula for each of the structures. That way you have to identify correctly how many hydrogens are present. Then in part three, you're going to convert skeletal line structures to condensed structure for all of them, and also to the Lewis structure. So convert the line structure to one, the condensed formula where no bonds are shown, and then also to the Lewis structure where all bonds and all atoms are written out. And that should make you very, very familiar with drawing and more comfortable with this assignment.